Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. On today's show, I got something for you. Hashtag honey bun. Because I'm finna hit you in the head. And it's gonna be soft, it's gonna be sweet, it's gonna be warm, cinnamon and sugar and all the great things. And it's a salt. Because you finna get hit in the head with it, although it's soft. And the honey bun analogy I've been using forever and I'll continue to use. So if you hear anybody saying this, know where they got it from. And that means it's an opportunity to connect with someone who's a part of the community, this community that we're building in real time. So today we're talking about ripples and breadcrumbs because part of this community, you speak the language. Ripples and breadcrumbs is the language of the Three Parallels podcast. Me as your host, me as everything that I can be for you and some. So, what are ripples and breadcrumbs? I'm glad you asked. I love analogies, metaphors. It's kind of my thing. And part of that is just how I think, how I process information. It's how I see things. So, I see things in pictures. And when I see pictures, it paints a picture for me. So, I'm able to take really complex ideas and simplify it with pictures or what I create as a picture. So, ripples and breadcrumbs, I want you to imagine the picture. And you're going to need a journal for this. All right. If you don't have a journal, it's okay. Whatever you got at the house, use that. Composition book, notepad, whatever you got, crayon, highlighter, don't matter. Use that. If you need a journal, I'll let your boy. The Gator Scales Journal is available now for purchase on Amazon. So check it out. If you want an autographed copy, hit me up. I'll autograph it, sign it, and send it to you, like personally. So if you want it personally, I'll let your boy. If you want it just available, go get it on Amazon. There's that. So ripples. Ripples are action steps. Okay. Ripples is the action. The action comes from throwing a pebble in the pond. Anytime you take a chance, you take a risk, you take action, you are throwing a pebble in the pond. When you throw a pebble in the pond, it's going to create ripples. That ripple will go from where that pebble landed all the way to the shore of that lake, pond, beach, wherever you are. So, whatever you do, there's going to be ripples because of it. Here's an example. If I work out 7 days a week, what's the ripple? I'm starting to look a lot better, a lot different, right? If I drink 7 days a week, what's the ripple? I'm starting to feel really bad, hydrated, skin dried up, just not doing well, right? So, whatever you choose to do is going to be a ripple, meaning an impact, meaning results. Okay. Now, my challenge to you is how do I become more intentional around dropping gems, jewels, ripples? Okay. So, my challenge to you all, and I'm starting now with your challenge, is how do I become more willing to take risk and do things I've never done? In order to become a version of me I've never been, I got to be willing to do things I've never done. And I want to tell you a story about how I did just that. But before I get to the story, I want to talk about breadcrumbs as well. Breadcrumbs are the things that's around you hidden in plain sight. From my experience in life, and I've been here for a while, 40 plus years, I've seen a lot of things. I haven't seen everything, but I've seen a lot of things. And a lot of things that I see connects to us as people. What I know about people for sure is we are great with creating narratives and stories around things that we perceive them to be instead of what they actually are. And sometimes I can't recognize what things actually are. If I spend so much time in my head, I never get a chance to play in the game. Playing in the game is being present in the living room. That's where we at right now, y'all. We're in the living room. Okay, you see my background. If you're watching it, if you're listening, we're in the living room right now, sitting on the couch, shoes and socks off, rubbing our toes together, watching our favorite TV show or movie. That's where we can be our most authentic. However, sometimes it's scary to be authentic, so we hide in the attic. The attic is comfortable. There's only enough room for you, you, and you, and you, and you, and you. All different versions of you that's stuck in your head, thinking about how everything will go wrong, how you can't do certain things, how it's not possible, and it hasn't been this in the past. That's all in your head. It's not reality until you try. For example, people I can't stand, and I'm gonna be honest. If this is you, if I step on your toes, I don't apologize. You know what burns me up? What grinds my gears? What boils my milk? What makes my ass itch? People such as yourself, if this is you, who say, I don't like sushi. I don't do sushi. That ain't really my thing. Nah, I'm good. And then you ask them, have you ever tried sushi? And they said, no, I would never try sushi. So how do you know if you like it or not? How do you know if it's good or not? I don't know. I think it's gonna be this. I think it's gonna be that. But you don't know unless you try. My challenge to you all this week, I'm giving you life work now, is to begin stepping outside your comfort zone and do things you've never done because the breadcrumbs are all around you, hidden in plain sight. In order to see them brightly, you have to be willing to do things you've never done, such as try sushi. Once you try it, now some of y'all might be allergic to shellfish. Slow down, boo boo. Slow down. Okay. For those who are not and you willing to try it and see what happens. Once you try it and see what happens, then you have a more accurate description on what you do and what you don't do. Many of us talk about the things that we do and we don't do, but we've never done it. I just want to talk about facts. I will never be this. I will never be that. Or looking at other people's situation and assuming what you would do. You have no idea what that life is like. For example, currently in the media, in the news, Diddy, right? Hashtag the diddler. The diddler probably finna go to jail for the rest of his life. Possibly, right? Just depends on how this thing play out. But the part of him being at risk of losing his livelihood comes from actions, behaviors, breadcrumbs, things that we do in the dark comes to the light. But not here to judge or criticize or anything like that. We are all doing the best we can with what we have. And that's enough. So the breadcrumbs are not just what I think, but it's what I know. So all of us think about things related to this case or the Diddy trial, but the reality is we don't know unless you were there, unless you was at the freak off. You don't know. And even if you was, that was the freak off at that time. They changed. They've evolved from the 90s to the 2024s. The freak offs have evolved. But we're not here to talk about freak offs. We're here to talk about breadcrumbs and ripples. So the breadcrumbs are things that's all around us all the time, hidden in plain sight. If you really think about this, human beings doing human things, everything around you right now in life has meaning, and it has a meaning that you or someone else gave to it. Everything. Here's an example. And this is definitely for my folks in the South because I was there. I did an 18-year bid in Alabama. 18 years, man. That will change your life. I'm telling you. I'm from Ohio, spent 18 in Alabama, and it was life changing for me. And I'm thankful for my time there. I'm thankful for all I experienced there, and I learned a lot. One of the biggest things I learned was us, the culture, Black folks, superstitions. Yep, want to talk about it. It's a breadcrumb. It's meaningful. So for some people in the South, and this is other places too, but I just noticed it in the South, they would knock your head off before you split a pole. I mean, your whole head. Get over here. Uppercut, Mortal Kombat. Knock your whole head off for trying to split the pole. Even if you don't know the rules of these superstitions, you will get seriously hurt trying to split a pole with someone from the South who has the same mentality around superstition, which are breadcrumbs. Because the belief is if we split the pole, something's going to happen bad. What? I have no idea who something is, what something is. It don't matter. Don't do it. And there's some grown folks out here right now walking down the sidewalk, listening to this podcast, wishing a mother would split a pole. I got to talk about it. Because if we think about big picture, as many times if you accidentally or coincidentally split a pole, nothing has happened. But the belief is something will happen, something's going to happen if I do this. Same thing as, and some of y'all may know a bit about these urban legends or myths or things, superstitions. You may know of some of these yourself. You have some. You just may not know of these, but you have them. We all do. But the superstition is a belief about a certain thing. Another superstition within the South, if somebody sweeps your feet with a broom, you got to spit on a broom because if you don't, you're going to go to jail. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. But some people live by it, die by it. And that's a breadcrumb because it's a belief, an idea based off of what's in front of me that's hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight means I'm controlled by this idea around this superstition. The reality is not likely to ever happen. How do you equate a broom with jail? Ooh, How do you equate something bad happening from stepping on a crack, breaking your mama's back, or walking between a pole? It's all belief. It's all made up. We create meaning behind these random things. So if I create meaning behind these random things and I will live and die by this conspiracy theory, imagine if I if I created meaning behind things that served me. Imagine that. Imagine instead of worried about splitting a pole, I'm talking about splitting a check. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not worried about splitting no pole. Let's split a check. Real talk. Let's do some business together instead of worried about splitting the pole. Where some people will pull you away from the pole so much you end up getting hurt by trying not to split the pole. You get where I'm coming from. If you don't, as grandmama and them say, keep on living. Keep on living. So let's dive in a little bit deeper with the breadcrumbs. My belief when it comes to breadcrumbs, these are things that's around you hidden in plain sight. If you eat enough breadcrumbs, you're going to end up with a slice of bread. And what I know about slices of bread is just like a coin. There's two sides. Shout out to Uncle Myron. Myron Golden. If you ain't hip, YouTube him. That is my uncle. He don't even know it yet. We finna be on a private jet together one day. He just don't know it. And he don't know he adopted me years ago. Myron Golden says that there is always two sides to everything. You never ate one side of the bread. You never had a coin with one side. Everything has two sides. And for me, I want to take it a step further. Everything has two sides and everything else in between. Let me break it down. Two sides of a coin. You got heads or tails, and you have everything that it took in life to create the coin, from a decision being made, the design, the materials, the work, the labor, the blueprint, the dissemination. All these things had to happen in order for that coin to exist. Same thing for the bread, right? Wheat, got to get the wheat, got to get the mixture and all these things together to create a loaf of bread. Nothing is just black and white either. Nothing is just one side or the other. There's a lot of things going on. And I want to challenge you to move away from just one-sided thinking. It's just one thing. It's multiple things, multiple times a day, if you're paying attention. So this version of me now, the who I am now, sees everything as an opportunity, sees everything as a meaning for me. It's a message to me. Don't matter what it is. Here's an example. I just want to give you this, man. You can do whatever you want with it. I just want to give it to you. The Three Parallels podcast playlist is a breadcrumb within itself because every song on there can take you somewhere you've never been before or take you somewhere you haven't been in a while because every song is curated by me and the guests on this show, students, listeners, and everybody else in between. Because one thing I learned about us as humans, there's two ways. There's two things that we connect on. I don't care where you're from, where you at, SES status, race, gender, doesn't matter. Food and music. If you got those two things, you're going to have a good time. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. So as I'm building this community with this podcast, with this experience, I curated a playlist to give you an opportunity to listen and hear and see the breadcrumbs. So instructions are pretty simple. Go to podcast, look up the number 3 Parallels podcast, hit shuffle, hit play. Within the first 3 songs, you're going to hear, see, or experience whatever you're supposed to. That's a message hidden in plain sight. You get to decide what you do with that information. My challenge to you is make meaning out of things because we're always making meaning out of things. And I want to give an example of how this works. So I listen to the Parallels playlist daily. It's it's just a part of me. It's a part of me. So the first 3 songs, I need y'all to see this in real time. The first 3 songs, this is when I listened to it yesterday. Just having a moment, feeling good. So the first 3 songs, number 1 was Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. Lucid Dreams. How do I connect to that breadcrumb? Lucid Dreams is the type of dreams I'm having right now, right? Its opportunities are endless, and I see so much because of the breadcrumbs. I'm gonna tell you more in a minute. Next, Twister, Overnight Celebrity. That was the second song played because I do feel as though people are gonna perceive me to be a celebrity overnight. Nah, it's been at least 20 years in the making. I'm almost there though. Y'all finna start calling me Hollywood before it's all said and done because I am Hollywood, but in a different way. Meaning I go to these places and do these things, but I'm chilling at the beach in San Diego. That's where I live. LA is where I play. So New York, all these different places. So overnight celebrity, yeah, it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. I can't put out this good input, this good information, this good content from the bottom of my heart and it not come back to me. Breadcrumb. Last but not least, although it's hard at this time, the third song was Be Strong by These One. Be Strong. So those are three breadcrumbs. Lucid Dreams, Overnight Celebrity, Be Strong. I look at words. That's what has meaning for me. Sometimes it's pictures, but a lot of times it's words. So those were some words that stood out to me that helped me get through the day yesterday. Guess what? Podcast is the podcast and the podcast playlist is available today. I'm tapping back in, seeing what comes up for me because I'm looking for the breadcrumbs. I hope you're noticing what I'm talking about, right? These parallels. So if I eat enough breadcrumbs, I'm end up with a slice. End up with a slice of bread. I can look at both sides. I can look at what's inside. And if I eat enough slices, I'm going to end up with a loaf. If I eat enough loaves, I'm going to get hit in the head with a honey bun, meaning I'm going to wake up in Panera bread. Yes, indeed. That's why I wake up at every morning. Why? Because my mind is a bread factory. I don't run out. I don't run out, baby. I don't run out of this stuff. I got too much of it. So I feel as though all this information that I have, I'm finally in a place in my life, and I can't even say finally, that kind of takes away from my greatness. I'm in a place in my life now, currently, that all this information I have, I'm giving it away to you and whoever else want to hear it. Because I feel as though I figured out life for me. Can't speak for nobody else, but I figured it out for me, and I'm doing just that, and it's working. How do I know? You're listening. Just want to talk about facts. How do I know? You're letting me know. You're telling me. I get texts, I get phone calls, I get emails, I get people letting me know, yo, Dr. Branch, yo, Jay, yo, random black man who has this podcast. Thank you for what you shared. I never thought about it in this way or that way. To me, that's enough. That is more than enough. I know I'm doing my job. I'm doing my part. And doing my part means leaving a legacy. Hashtag ripple. Are you seeing it? This podcast is a ripple. Every time you listen, you're going to get something. Every time I put out content, you're going to get something. You get me twice a week, three times a week if you're really into the game. So therefore, Sunday, you get an interview with me and somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm telling y'all, I have no idea who's going to end up on this show, but I know a lot of people going to end up on this show that I admire from afar. Celebrities, entertainers, regular, everyday people, the highest level, the lowest level, it don't matter. It's people. And that's who I care about. That's who I'm interviewing. Then Wednesday, you get me, just like now. You get me talking shit. And it's good. There's no way you can listen to an episode and not get nothing. I mean, you can, but you got to work real hard. And then Fridays, Gator Talk. This is us live. And I want to prepare you now. Gator Talk is evolving. Right now, we do it on Zoom. Uh, I'm trying out Instagram Live. I've never gone live until last week. And big shout out to my number one fan right now, Meg. Meg is number one right now because Meg has been rocking with me since the beginning. And I really want to shout out Meg. Um, yeah, Meg, you something else. I appreciate you. So no matter what, Gator Scales, Gator Talk, Meg is in the building. Meg is in the building, taking notes, getting information, building, and she's growing with it. Here's a breadcrumb, here's a ripple. Me and Meg, because that's who it is on the call sometimes. Me and Meg was just having conversation about doing things we never done before, and she started doing them. She talked about them, she thought about it, now she's doing them. What's an example? She always went down. Meg is a D1 athlete, former D1 athlete, right? Roar. And she decided, you know what? I've always wanted to do a marathon, but I ain't doing this training stuff no more. I'm a grown woman. Maybe I'll reconsider doing a marathon. And that conversation was in a few months back, and before I know it, she crossed the finish line and sent me a picture. That's ripples and breadcrumbs. That's life changing because there's only so many people that you know, and the people that you do know who's run a marathon, you know them. and you look at them differently, in my humble opinion. I ain't never met somebody who ran a full marathon and I don't look at them differently because they've done something I've never done. I've done a few halves. I ain't never done a whole. Half, I'm always ready to die. How dare I consider a whole? I eat a whole avocado. It's about the whole I'm going to get or a donut hole. But anyway, you get my point. I'm talking about breadcrumbs, okay? so shout out to you, Meg. Thank you for being you. Thank you for rocking with your boy. I got to give flowers when they do. So thank you for being you. And this is my love to you. This is my flowers to use, and everybody know it. So thank you for rocking with me. So breadcrumbs, this stuff works. Okay. Waking up in Panera bread, meaning I don't run out. That's all of us. You don't run out of ideas, of things you can do, places you can be, things you can experiment, things you can try. You don't run out because there's a plethora. I look at this world as a beach, a big beach, right? And as you know, a beach is endless. Within this world, beaches are endless. You can't even fathom how much how much room and space we have for a beach. There's beaches that haven't been touched by us yet. Can't get to it. You can see it. You can see a beach over there. Can't even get to it. And I believe there's parts of this world that has been uncharted. It's just my belief. I don't know. Google Maps, can give you a lot of information, but that doesn't mean you were in that space. You may see video from the space, but that doesn't mean somebody's ever been there. That's how vast our world is. And I want you to think about that as the beach. So every granule of sand on the beach is an opportunity, is an idea, is a thought, is a challenge, is a risk, is a thing. Do you know how much that is? Do you have any idea? Whew. So, regardless of this world and all of us being on this beach, we have people who decided to put a sandbox on the beach. And the sandbox to me are the rules, laws, ethics, things that somebody put together to contain us, to put us in a space, to follow systems. And a lot of these systems was created that doesn't benefit everybody, doesn't benefit all, but it benefits some. And to me, the challenge is, how do I put both feet from both worlds? So for me, for Dr. Branch, I live on the beach. I play in the sandbox. I visit the sandbox. And sometimes you got to go through the sandbox to get to the beach. That's what your job, life, career, relationship, whatever. You got to kiss a few frogs, right? So you got to experience certain things to get to certain places. And that's okay. Give yourself permission to experience it all and accept what you experience for what you perceive it to be. Because that's what it is. Whatever experience that you have in life, your perception makes it a reality. And I perceive things a lot differently. Here's an example. Breadcrumb, two sides of the bread, right? For many of us, two sides of the bread, one side is win, one side is lose. Either win or lose. Either I'm good or bad. Either I'm great or I'm horrible. And to me, I want to change that. My two sides of bread, I win no matter what side I eat. What's the win? One side of the bread, I'm going to win. What's the other side of the bread? I'm going to learn. Come on with it. Y'all with me. Either I'm winning or I'm learning, which means I never lose. Hey, listen up. I haven't lost since 2005. And I've been playing this game. And I haven't lost since 2005. You know why? Because I'm constantly learning about myself, about other people, about this world, about these systems, about life. And that doesn't end until we end. And we don't end until death. And you don't know when that is unless you know when it is. And if you do, hit me up. If you need to come to the hospital and, sign an autograph, dress up like a pirate, holla at your boy. Cancer treatment. Let's go. Let's go. Make a wish. Make a wish for your boy right here, right now. I'm dead serious. Make a wish if you're on your deathbed. Holla at your boy. And I joke about these serious things because that's what meaning I have to it. We all gonna die. Just want to talk about facts. You ain't gotta feel some kind of way about it. Folks get cancer. Folks get cancer and die. Folks get cancer and are cured or in remission. They can survive it. I just want to talk about it. There's a spectrum. If you think about life, everything is on a spectrum. Even I'm on the spectrum. I just found out yesterday. Ah. We all are. So moving from win or loss to win or learn, I'm always winning. And if I'm always winning, the breadcrumbs are all around me and the ripples are all around me because now I'm more intentional. More intentional meaning I'm throwing more pebbles in the pond. I'm looking for the breadcrumbs. So I want to share a story that happened to me recently that really helped me see the breadcrumbs and ripples. So I'm at this park because most of the time, Battle Cat Studios is held wherever I am. And a lot of times I'm in nature, I'm at the park. So I'm at this park and I see this family getting out of of this van, and I would assume Hispanic family, and it was a mom and a dad and a little baby. The baby probably about two, and he just could not keep his eyes off me. He just kept staring at me. Where they're trying to pull him to go to the playground, he's just like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but he has my full attention. And I had he had mine, and I had his. I just was looking at him as much as he was looking at me because it was an energy there where this 2-year-old child saw me or looked at me or was curious about something. I was curious about him too. Because even though he was a little baby, he looked like a grown man. Looked like a grown man. Had work boots on, a flannel shirt, some jeans. I thought he was finna go to work. So, they're speaking Spanish, speaking some English, giving me love, giving him love. Like, oh, come on, dragging him along. And I'm just like, it was just a moment where I could appreciate being seen, even if it was a 2-year-old kid. And as I'm turning to my car, I hear music and it's a guitar, like a strumming of a guitar. And I'm like, that can't be the radio. What is that? And as I walk a little further, I see a girl, I'm assuming maybe a teenage girl, sitting in that same van that the family just got out of, playing her guitar, you know, shooting socks off like she in the living room, having a good time, just sitting in the car playing her guitar. And I approach her and I see her and they're parked right next to me. And I let her know, like, yo, man, that is so good. Like, wow, that's great. What are you playing? And she downplayed it immediately, like, no, I'm just playing around. This is this or that. And I said, no, you're like really, you're really good. Um, do you mind if I watch you practice? And she said, yeah. I'm kind of new to it. I'm like, tell me more. She said, yeah, I've only been doing this for about 3 months. I said, my mouth dropped. I said, 3 months? You play like you've been playing your whole life. Like you're really good. Like you have a natural talent, natural gift. I'm just giving this woman flowers, right? And the whole time she's downplaying it. Like, well, I'm not this, I'm not that. And I had to pour into her because I believe in ripples and breadcrumbs. Now I'm doing this just out of the kindness of me being me. I ain't trying to prove nothing. I ain't trying to get nothing. I don't want shit. I just want to pour into you because that's what I do. If you met me, you've been poured into in some capacity. Some. So I'm going to continue to do that. So I just start pouring into this woman because I felt as though this girl, because I felt as though she could use it. So, I asked her, what makes you think you're not that great? And she was like, well, because it's only been 3 months. I said, who said time has to do with this? So as she was telling me the things of what she's not, I'm telling her that I'm sharing the things that I'm seeing, which made it hard for her to hold on to this belief. And as I'm sharing these things with her, she looks up where her parents are and looks down, looks back at me. And it was this non-verbal communication of they won't allow me to be who you're sharing that I could be. They don't allow that. And I felt it and my heart just hurt because I remember being a kid as well where I wasn't able to express myself creatively because of beliefs and ideas about what that means or what that is. Now, that same creative energy got me to be a podcast host and beyond, being funny, being silly, being honest, being authentic, whatever the case may be. So I was pouring into her because I didn't have anyone to pour into me related to this piece. So part of me felt I was talking to little me. So as we continue the conversation, there was a shift that happened because I continued to pour in. And the shift was, you know, she went from her head down and downplaying to, hmm, maybe I could do something. So once I saw the light bulb, I went a little deeper. Again, when you wake up in Panera Bread, you got enough bread for everybody else and yourself, so you don't mind giving it away. So I gave her some fresh baked bread. I gave her a honey bun, hit upside the head, bust upside the head with some sourdough, and before you know it, she was singing a tune. But before we get there, I was sharing with her an opportunity to see her, capital Her. I ain't talking about the R&B singer with the guitar. I'm talking about this girl in this van with the guitar. And I asked her, I said, hey, can you imagine who you're going to become or who you could be with this guitar? And she said, yeah. She lit up. I said, you can see her, right? She said, yeah. I said, you can also hear her, but you're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening because she's whispering and you're distracted by people, places, and things that prevent you from honing in on your craft and trusting that you're doing the best you can, what you have, and it's more than enough. And she lit up. And I encouraged her. I said, hey, you got to listen to that girl. You got to listen to her instead of listening to everybody else. Again, she looked at me. She looked up at where her parents were and looked back and smiled. And that smile was, you gave me permission to give myself permission. And it was a moment that we shared. And I said, have a great day. Thanks for, giving me your time and your attention. Continue the great work. And, don't let nobody stop you from shining. And she lit up. That was enough for me. So I opened the door to get in my car. She said, hey, have you heard of this song? I can't tell you the first three songs she mentioned. Have you heard of this artist, this song? I said, nope. What about this artist, this song? I said, nope. What about this song and this artist? I'm like, no, because there's at least a 20-year age gap here. However, she did mention, have you heard of Wonderwall by Oasis? And I'm like, Oasis, yeah, I heard Oasis. Went straight to the 90s, right? And she said, all right, I'll play something for you. Here I am standing at my car, door wide open, and she starts playing Oasis Wonderwall. And it was instant. Oh my God, this woman, this little girl who I only see her, the woman, is playing the hell out of this guitar. And she killed it. She killed it. I was already standing, so she got an ovation. I clapped it up, gave her so much love, and got in my car to get ready to leave the park. And as I get in my car, get ready to leave the park, I'm thinking about the song, Oasis, Wonderwall. So I'm going 3 Parallels playlist. I got to add it to the playlist because it's not on there. And I want to hear the song, exactly what she just played for me. And I want to play it for her. So I'm scrambling my car trying to find the song. By that time, I'm looking for the song. She's off to go up and join her parents. So I rolled down the windows, finally played the song and played it in homage of her as I pulled out of the parking lot. I don't know if she heard it or not, but I played it loud enough for her and for me and everybody else at the park. And as I'm leaving the park listening to Oasis, I broke down in tears. I broke down in tears because I recognized that what I shared with her, I was sharing with myself. All of us have some doubts and insecurities and imposter syndrome. And what I was telling myself is to continue to listen to him, capital Him, because he's whispering. And sometimes I get caught up on the people, places, and things where I can't hear him, meaning the future me. So I'm shedding tattoo tears, listening to Wonderwall by Oasis. And the tears are joy. The tears are excitement. The tears are sadness. The tears are expression of authenticity. The tears are different versions of me leaving because I'm not that guy anymore. So what I gave this little girl, I actually gave to myself and recognized it in real time. This is what I mean by ripples and breadcrumbs. I'm pretty sure if she takes the seed that was planted and keep diving in and digging in and doing the best she can what she has, I have no doubt she's going to be on a big stage. And I had a chance to meet this person. Same rules for me. If I keep digging in and doing what I feel as though is best, being authentic, investing in myself, trusting me, finding meaning that works for me in all that I'm doing, listening to him, capital Him, you're going to see me on that big stage as well. I'm already there. And I'm so glad that you're here with me. This has been another episode of 3 Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. If this show has been a blessing, a gift to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, like, share, comment. And I also noticed I could use more subscribers. So subscribe, share it so you won't miss a thing. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to connecting with you. If I can help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, as a therapist, as a life coach, as a consultant, as a friend, as a brother, as a whatever, reach out. Don't tell yourself no. Let me tell you no. Have a great day, great week, great life. Peace.